A tax scheme. 2 words. They echoed through the ballroom of Cedars-Sinai Children's Hospital. 80 people froze, children in their mothers' arms, families in wheelchairs, doctors in expensive suits. Dr. Harrison Webb stood at the microphone, his voice steady and cold. Mr. Martin's $150,000 donation. The real cost to him? $45,000. The rest comes back in tax refunds. That's not charity, that's accounting. At the back of the room, Dean Martin stood motionless, tuxedo perfect, face unreadable. Webb wasn't finished. These children deserve real help, not Hollywood props for tax deductions. The room went silent. Dean started walking. 30 minutes earlier. Los Angeles, October 1969. The Crystal Chandelier Ballroom was filling with guests. This wasn't just another fundraiser. Dean Martin was coming. The man who'd quietly donated more money to children's hospitals than any other entertainer in Hollywood. Most people didn't know that. Dean didn't talk about it. Dr. Harrison Webb knew, and it bothered him. Webb was one of America's most renowned cardiac surgeons, Johns Hopkins graduate, 3 presidents' private physician, Time magazine cover. A man who believed intelligence and expertise made him untouchable. But when Dean Martin walked into a room, people forgot about Dr. Webb. Webb had been drinking scotch, expensive scotch, thinking about how celebrities got applause for writing checks, while real doctors like him saved lives every day and got nothing but bills and complaints. He decided tonight would be different. When the microphone was passed to him for opening remarks, Webb didn't stick to the script. He said what he'd been thinking for years. And now Dean Martin was walking toward him. Dean's footsteps made no sound on the carpet. He passed between tables. Doctors shifted in their seats. Donors looked at each other nervously. Dean stopped at a wheelchair. A boy, maybe 8 years old, pale and thin. "What's your name, champion?" "Michael." "I'm going to talk to you soon, Michael, okay?" The boy nodded. Dean stood, kept walking, reached Webb's table. "Dr. Webb," Dean said quietly. "Stand up." It wasn't a request. Webb hesitated, then stood. He was 4 inches taller than Dean. "You said I run a tax scheme," Dean said, his voice calm. "I said donations are often used for tax purposes. It's a fact. Let me ask you something." Dean's eyes never left Webb's face. "How much did you donate this year?" Webb's jaw tightened. "That's not relevant." "It's very relevant. You make $250,000 a year. Surgery fees, consultancies, book royalties. How much of that did you give to this hospital?" Silence. "Let me tell you," Dean said. "Zero. You've worked here 14 years, operated on these children 14 years, and you've donated nothing. Because this is your job. You get paid for it." Webb started to speak. Dean held up his hand. "I gave $150,000. You said it's a tax scheme." Dean reached into his jacket, slowly pulled out a folded paper. The room leaned forward. Dean unfolded it, held it up. 5 seconds of silence. "This is my 1969 tax return." Webb's eyes widened slightly. "Do you see a line for $150,000 charitable donation, Dr. Webb?" Silence. "You won't find it, because I didn't write it." Dean placed the paper on Webb's table. Not gently. The sound echoed. "My accountant begged me to claim it. I said no, because this wasn't about money. It was about Michael." Dean turned to the room. "Anyone here can verify this with the hospital. In fact, Dr. Webb should go verify it right now. Maybe he'll learn something." Webb stared at the paper. His hands trembled slightly. A woman stood up. She wasn't crying. She was angry. "Dr. Webb, you refused to treat my son." The room went cold. 2 years ago. Tommy's heart was failing. You said no insurance, go somewhere else. Webb's face drained of color. Mr. Martin found out. He took Tommy to another doctor, paid $35,000. Tommy goes to school now. She stared at Webb. You sent him to die. He sent him to live. She sat down. Another man stood, spoke one sentence. You refused Sarah's surgery. He paid for it. She's here tonight. Sat down. Dean turned back to Webb. 2 families, 2 children you turned away. 2 children I helped. No press, no photos, no tax returns, just kids who needed to live. Dean walked to Michael's wheelchair, knelt down. "Michael, when's your surgery?" Michael's mother answered, her voice shaking. "Next month, but our insurance only covers 60%. We need $22,000. We don't have it." Dean pulled a business card from his pocket, handed it to her. "Call this number tomorrow morning. $22,000 will be waiting." The mother started crying. "And Michael," Dean looked at the boy. "After your surgery, I'm coming to visit. You like ice cream?" Michael nodded, tears streaming. "Then it's a date." Dean stood, turned to Webb. "That's real charity, Dr. Webb. No camera, no newspaper, no refund. Just a boy and ice cream." Webb opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Dean wasn't done. "You want to talk about tax schemes? Let's talk about them. In the last 3 years, I've paid medical bills for 12 families. Total, $230,000. Not $1 claimed on my taxes. Not one press release. Not one photo op." Dean pulled another paper from his pocket. "This is a list, names redacted for privacy, but the hospital has the records." He held it up. 12 families who were about to lose everything, go bankrupt, lose their homes, because their children got sick and insurance said no. Dean's voice got quieter, more dangerous. "I found them. I paid their bills. I asked them not to tell anyone, because this wasn't about me. It was about them." He looked at Webb. "How many families have you helped, Dr. Webb? How many bills have you paid? How many times have you said, 'Don't worry about the cost. We'll figure it out'?" Webb said nothing. "I'll tell you how many. 0. Because you charge $15,000 per surgery. You collect every dollar, and if they can't pay, you turn them away." Someone in the room gasped. "I'm not saying you're a bad doctor," Dean said. "You're excellent at what you do, but don't stand in front of these families and call my charity a tax scheme when you've never given anything without expecting payment." Webb finally found his voice. "Mr. Martin, these are serious accusations. They're facts. You're saying I'm, what, greedy? I'm saying you're a surgeon who operates for money. I'm an entertainer who donates without expecting anything back. One of us is running a scheme. It's not me." Webb's face turned red. "I follow the rules. I run a business. And I break the rules by giving away money without wanting credit? I want to see proof, real proof. Because if you're claiming you gave $230,000 with no tax deduction, I need to see documentation." The room went silent. Dean nodded slowly. "Fair enough." He turned to the hospital administrator. "Mrs. Patterson, would you take Dr. Webb to the accounting office? Show him every record, every payment, every file with my name on it." Mrs. Patterson stood up, surprised. "Right now?" "Right now. We'll wait." Webb looked around. He was trapped. "Fine. Let's go." Webb and Mrs. Patterson left the ballroom. Dean sat down next to Michael's wheelchair. "You nervous about the surgery?" Dean asked. Michael nodded. "I was nervous before my first show in Vegas. You know what I did?" "What?" "I pretended I was the toughest guy in the room, and after a while, I believed it. So when you go into surgery, you pretend you're the toughest kid in the hospital. Okay?" Michael smiled. "Okay." 10 minutes passed. The room buzzed with whispered conversations. Some people left. Most stayed. 15 minutes. The door opened. Webb walked back in. Alone. His face was ashen. His hands were shaking. He walked to his table, sat down, didn't look at anyone. Dean stood up, walked over. "Did you see the records?" Webb nodded. "And?" 30 seconds of silence. Webb's shoulders started shaking. He was crying. "I'm sorry." Webb's voice cracked. "I'm so sorry." Dean waited. Webb looked up, tears streaming down his face. "You gave $230,000. None of it claimed, none of it refunded, none of it publicized. It's all there. Every payment, every family." He wiped his eyes. "And I stood here and called you a fraud." The room was completely silent. "Mr. Martin, Webb struggled to speak. "I was jealous. You come here, and everyone loves you. I've saved hundreds of children, but nobody thanks me because they pay me. You give money and they treat you like family." He stood up, unsteady. I wanted what you have. Gratitude. Love. So I tried to tear you down. Make you look like another rich fake. Webb turned to the room. But he's not fake. He's real. More real than any of us. Dean didn't move. Just watched. I'm respected in medicine, Webb said. But I'm not loved. And watching him tonight, I understand why. Respect is earned through skill. Love is earned through sacrifice. I have skill. He has both. Webb turned back to Dean, extended his hand. I'm sorry, truly sorry. Not just to you, to these families, to these children. I was wrong about everything. Dean looked at the hand. For 3 seconds, he didn't move. Then he took it. Apology accepted. Webb broke down completely. 52 years old, renowned surgeon, crying in front of 80 people. The next day, a small article appeared in the Los Angeles Times. Children's Hospital benefit ends in reconciliation. No details, no drama, but inside Cedars-Sinai, everything changed. 1 week later, Dr. Webb submitted a proposal. Pro bono heart surgery program. 5 free surgeries per month. No payment required, no insurance needed, just children who needed help. Administration was shocked. Dr. Webb, this will cost you $80,000 annually. I know, Webb said. Dean Martin taught me that we don't accumulate money to die with it. The program launched. First year, 32 children operated on for free. Michael's surgery was successful. Dean visited with ice cream, as promised. 30 minutes. No cameras. As Dean left, Michael's mother grabbed his hand. Dr. Webb started the program because of you. Dean smiled. No, he started it because he found something he'd lost. I just reminded him where to look. 3 years later, Dr. Webb spoke at a cardiology conference. 300 doctors. In 1969, I called a man a fraud. Then I learned he'd donated $230,000 without wanting credit. He changed my life. Dean Martin taught me that medicine isn't about making money. It's about making a difference. I forgot that. He reminded me. The doctors stood and applauded. When Dr. Webb died in 2003, his will left $1.2 million to the Dean Martin Free Pediatric Surgery Fund. The fund operates today. 40 to 50 children per year. No press, no photos, just children healing. Dean Martin never told this story. Never bragged. When Frank Sinatra asked about Webb years later, Dean said only, Harrison became a good doctor. Who? Frank asked. Doesn't matter, Dean said. Just someone who learned. That night at Cedars-Sinai, 80 people learned what real power looks like. Not in accusations, not in titles, not in degrees, in quiet acts, in unrecorded kindness, in love that expects nothing back. Dr. Webb lost that night, but that loss saved him. And 30 years of children's lives saved after proved it.